So can you please explain us the difference between main browser and SME browser? So you head the SME division. So if you can just help us understand how do we get listed in a Bombay Stock Exchange SME division?
Of course, if you see the stock exchange BSE is in existence for last 147 years.
Yes, sir.
And earlier any company, whether it's small, medium or big, they can get listed on the stock exchange. But over the period and because of various scams, etc., we keep on making the guidelines, rules and regulations of the stock exchange very strict, so that wrongdoers can't enter into the market. And also we have increased the threshold for the companies who wants to get listed onto the stock exchange. So it became almost impossible for the small medium companies to get listed onto the stock exchange. And also they were very much worried because they thought that after getting listed they have to do lot of compliances.
True, sir.
So in 2010, because of the pressure of various small and medium stock exchange, medium companies, federations, and even CII who have requested for a SME platform where the companies can get listed in a very cost-effective manner, and post-listing compliances should also get reduced. So SEBI came out with the guidelines on 18th May 2010, and accordingly they said that any SME where the post-issue face value capital is below 10 crores have to compulsory get listed on the SME platform. Between 10 to 25 crores of post-issue face value capital, they have the option, they can get listed either on the SME platform or the main board of the stock exchange. And beyond 25 crores, they have the option only to get listed on the main board of the stock exchange.
Okay, sir.
So, and after that, SEBI has requested the stock exchange to start this SME platform. But before that, in 89-90, OTCI was launched. It was also specifically for the small and medium companies. But it has not succeeded, it failed miserably. And therefore there was a perception that this SME stock exchange will also not become successful. So we have to work very hard, and normally we were also organizing various events, sponsoring various events.
Yes, sir.
So most of the people statistically ask us whether this SME platform will take off or not when OTCI failed. But we worked hard, we kept on meeting various promoters. In last 10.5 years, I think I have met 37,500 promoters across the country. We have done almost 2,600 offline seminars, 300 online seminars. After putting so much efforts, finally we got 415 companies which got listed, and they have raised from the primary market almost 4,600 crores. From the secondary market, they have raised another 8 to 10,000 crores.
Sir.
And today the valuation of these 415 companies is almost 65,000 crores.
Brilliant.
So they are doing very well, and that's how we keep on requesting the promoters to get listed. From south side, we have not seen that numbers coming. Mostly the concentration.
So how has been your experience, let's say, compared to Maharashtra, Gujarat and other states, and maybe Tamil Nadu? Tamil Nadu being the second largest.
See, the problem in the country is this, that financial literacy is still very less.
Sir.
And when it comes to equity market, it's far lesser than what we can think of. There is no awareness. People have their own fear. No one wants to dilute the share. They want to, keep hold of the whole company, thinking that if they will dilute the share, somebody will take away their company. So those perceptions are there. So it takes a lot of time to convince. But the way last 2 days the meeting has been carried on, and in last 3-4 months, 2 companies got listed from this side. I think that now we will see a lot of companies, because yesterday only we have got 2 mandates signed.
Wonderful.
One of the very big jewelry firm has agreed to get listed. So maybe by March that company will get listed here on the same platform. So I am very much bullish on this side of the country.
So you mean to say the financial literacy is some sort of because there is a lot of money, there are a lot of aspirations. So I've been interviewing a lot of business owners. Invariably, everybody has the goal, I need to get listed. I need to get a IPO done for my stakeholders and stuff like that. But what is that 1 or 2 factors which acts like an inhibition? One is that you said is the compliance. So can you touch upon the compliance challenges when it comes to the SME listing?
So we have reduced the compliances on the SME platform. Yes, people have this fear Then there was also, lack of awareness. Many people think that, if you want to get listed, at least you should have a turnover of 500, 600 crores, profit of at least 20, 25 crores, then only. So we had broken all those things. Now we are trying to say that even if you have a turnover of 10 crore, 5 crore, 20 crore, 25 crore, 50 crore, you can get listed. We have opened this door. So now slowly and slowly, another thing is that, we have a tendency, no one wants to be the first person to bail the cat. So they also want some examples to be set. So I'm quite sure that in another 6-7 months, the Herculean task that we have done, which has yielded results, and some of the examples come from this side, will follow others to follow that
10, 15
path.
success stories.
And 10, 15. But let me tell you, I really congratulate the government of Tamil Nadu.
Wonderful, sir.
Okay, they have taken a great step which no other state government has taken. No, let me tell you what. Before clapping, let me tell you what what a step has been taken. See, the step that they have taken is this, that, if they are going to subsidize you to the extent of 30 lakh towards the cost of listing onto the SME platform.
Oh, so whatever the entrepreneur is supposed to.
So if your investment towards listing, if your cost towards listing is say 50 lakh, so up to 25 lakh you will get a reimbursement from the.
Wonderful.
So almost it's becoming free of cost listing. There are other state governments who have also come with that, but they are giving a subsidy up to 5 lakh rupees.
Okay.
So first time we have seen, and we have also signed memorandum of understanding with the state government, Tamil Nadu state government, and post that they have initiated this action. So now while meeting to the promoters, we are telling them, and they are getting very happy. Now they are saying, now we want to get listed.
True.
So see, thing is that in our country, we talk about income generation, we talk about poverty elevation. Okay, all these things we talk about. We talk about equality, but we don't talk about wealth generation.
True.
So listing is nothing but it's a vehicle of wealth generation.
True.
And wealth generation can only bring prosperity in the country. So that's why we are deliberating, discussing, requesting, time and again requesting to the promoters. We keep on following to the promoters for months, years, etc. Then finally they come. Then till the time of listing, they say that, sir, it's your baby. So we keep on telling them, yeah, it's my baby, I am your guardian, don't take any tension. If something goes wrong, I am there. Even I will refund you the money from my pocket. But post-listing, nobody calls. So after listing, everybody gets smoked. Okay, because here what what happens, when you go to the banks, you ask for loan, you have to give collaterals, then you have to pay interest, there is a cash outflow. But there is a difference between debt and equity. Equity, you don't have to service. So you have taken the money, you just keep on increasing your business. And the profit which keep on adding, which unlock the value of the company further. Your valuation will keep on increasing and investors will make money out of that.
Okay.
So that's the difference between equity and debt. And that's why I keep on telling the promoters that as far as stock exchange is concerned, it's the safest place for the promoters.
Okay.
And riskiest place for the investors.
Okay.
But still promoters feel that it's the riskiest place for them, safest place for investors. So it's not like that. You are selling your paper. Not only that, instead of keeping 100% of the shares with the company, with yourself, with no value to the company, better have 60% in your hand of a company which commands a value of 500 crores. So your company value, your own net worth becomes 300 crores. So we keep on following, we keep on telling. Yesterday also I met a promoter. 2 hours I have explained him. I tried to convince him. After 3 hours he came back once again. And still he talked to me for 2.5 hours. And I convinced him. Again he told me that once again I will come back and then I will ask you some more questions. So these things keep on happening. But I think we are on the track of
So what should be that inflection point? For example, if I'm a business owner, I'm doing, let's say, 30 crore turnover. When do I make the decision? Okay,
immediately.
Okay.
So we have got a company listed having a turnover of 10 crores.
Okay.
See, what I have seen is a psychology. Most of the promoters, 20 crore, 30 crore, 50 crore, 70 crore, the time you tell them to get listed, they bring from somewhere inferiority complex. Okay, sir, मैं बहुत छोटा हूँ. I am very small. I am tiny. Am I capable or no? So this type of infinity companies come inside and they don't want to get listed.
Okay.
So I keep on telling the promoters, you are the best in your field. You know your potential. When Reliance got listed, it was a tiny company, it was a small company. In 40 years, they become 20 lakh crore company. So I think they should believe in themselves, use the stock exchange platform for their benefit, and take their company to the new heights.
It also gives phenomenal visibility. So once you're
Of
part
course,
of the...
there are many
Yeah.
things. There are many things. Number one, fundraising.
Correct.
Of course, there are two ways to raise the fund. One is debt, another is equity. So use equity for your growth, for your capex and opex. That's the one thing. When the equity fund comes, your balance sheet becomes healthy. I've seen the balance sheet of 37,000 company. In 95% of the time, I don't know whether I should call it a balance sheet or imbalance sheet.
Okay.
Okay, so they are so much over leveraged. Okay, so when equity comes into the company, the fund outflow is less. The cash outflow is less because you don't have so much money to service the debt, and because of which the profitability goes up. And after that, if you can see that the value of the company keeps on unlocking. So that is the second benefit. Third, the credibility of the promoters increases. Okay, people start feeling that now the company is well compliant, it's transparent, it's delegating the power to the individuals. They have independent directors
It
on their
appears very
payroll.
professional.
They are becoming professional. So that perception changes. So credibility of the promoters increases because you are trading on the national platform. So your visibility increases. The people across the country start seeing you, knowing you, all
Better
those
talent
things.
you can...
After that, you can have better talent in your company. You can keep all the better talents. You give them ESOPs, okay, and they will remain with your company for longer time. They will put their hard work and sweat for your company. Fifth is that your shares over the time becomes collateral. So tomorrow, if you become 500, 600 crore company, if you don't have enough sufficient collateral, you can use this equity as a collateral to raise loans.
Your personal shares
Personal
can be
shares
pledged as...
pledged and and sixth and very important that your equity becomes currency because it is being traded onto the stock exchange. And I always say that there are only two persons who issue the currency. One is RBI governor, and rupee is the equity of government of India. When economy does well, rupee appreciates. When economy doesn't do well, rupee depreciates. And it's a tradable. If I give you 2,000 rupees, why you accept it? Because the RBI governor has signed on it and said that I promise to pay the bearer 2,000 rupees.
True.
Okay, but over the time and because of inflation, the value of rupee depreciates. There is another person who issues the currency, and that is the promoter of the company who issues shares. It's also currency because it's being traded on the stock exchange. But he is more powerful than the Reserve Bank of India governor because he never promised to pay the bearer anything. So if the equity, if the equity price goes up, okay, because he is holding 75% of the shares, so his net worth appreciates, and there are multiple investors, there also wealth appreciates.
Sure.
But if somehow, and because the company is not doing well or because some disruptions are there, so if the equity prices comes down, nobody comes to his house and do tandav. Okay, so you are safe, but still, you keep on explaining the promoter. We are trying to keep on, but I think I am bullish.
Wonderful,
Because
sir.
this year we have seen maximum number of companies filing the prospectus.
Beautiful.
In last 10.5 years, this year we have seen maximum number of the companies filing the prospectus. And we are seeing investors' participation is highest.
Okay.
Last year Sensex has given 5.8% return.
Correct.
Nifty has given around 4.9% return in 2022 calendar year I am talking about. And the BSE SME IPO index has given 68% return. So that's how we are seeing the participation of the investors happening onto the SME platform. And I am seeing a very optimistic outlook for the stock exchange.
Okay.
And going forward, I think thousands and thousands of companies will get listed from across the country and benefit out of the stock exchange.
Wonderful. So for example, now if you compare a country like India and say, let's say a developed country like US, Japan, or maybe some of the European countries, their SMBs and how many SMBs are getting listed there and vis-a-vis the Indian year. So anyways, our theme we are talking about is 5 trillion. So do you think too much of a gap, or what kind of parity we are at?
No, see.
So let's say for 100 companies, there are 100 companies, 100 SMEs in USA, compare that 100 SMEs in India. So how many would have really participated in the capital market there and here?
Yeah. See, SMEs there, I don't know whether in US there is no such SME stock exchange.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, in UK there was AIM, but now it's not doing well.
Okay.
And in China there is one SME, in Canada is there, all those things. But I think our SME platform is doing well. You are talking about GDP $5 trillion. Yes, of course, I think India is on that track. India is on the path.
In fact, one of our theme here is that we are talking about equity in wealth distribution, and that essentially means the base needs to be wide.
No,
and
base is already getting widened because
and
in 2 years, see, it took 145 years to create 30 million investors who got registered with the stock exchange. Today we have 120 million investors in 2.5 years. So 90 million investors in 2 years added in the capital market. And many of them are from those states which we call Bimaru states, like Bihar, UP, Odisha and all those states. From those states, many of the investors. Not only we have seen this time, from female side. So gender equality is also coming. Women are also coming forward. They are also getting registered. So very soon we will find 15 and even in mutual fund we are seeing almost $39 billion AUM, 39 lakh crore, something like that is there. So I think overall there is a participation from across the segments of the population. 5 trillion economy, why we should talk about 5 trillion economy? Let us start talking about $10 trillion.
Yeah.
Okay, and to achieve this, we have to ensure that the SMEs, which are the backbone of Indian economy, should grow faster, because they are the one who give the maximum employment and across the country also. So, if we want equitable growth, the SMEs of this country, the agriculture sector, etc., should keep on progressing.
And especially, say, if you're looking at the popularity of private equity, and let's say all these startup has created a completely different ecosystem. So how do you compare for example, an SME has access to both private equity venture funds vis-a-vis, let's say, the SME listing. What kind of call a business owner can take?
I think, the financial market is widening. Okay, there is a scope for everyone.
Okay.
But what I have seen is this, that the startups are more focused on asset-light model company.
True.
Okay. Whereas equity funding, what we are talking about from the capital market, they are for both asset-light as well as asset-heavy model company. So that's how it works. But I think there is a scope for everyone.
Okay.
And for a startup segment, we are seeing private equity venture company, but it's not easy to get money. I always say that if you, keep on talking about, take the name of God, at least 1 million times, maybe God will come. But even if you 20 million times, if you keep on saying money will not come. So it's not easy to get money. It's very tough, very difficult to get money. So I think whether it's a startup, whether it's a SME, whether it's a large corporate, they have to convince the investors that they are into right business. They have got sustainable business model and they are into growth path. Then only I think longevity nowadays is very important, and therefore the business should grow in a proper fashion, in a proper manner, taking all the things into consideration, and then I think funds will keep on coming.
Wonderful, sir. And let's say if I decide to get listed today, what is the kind of gestation period do you think
It's
we need
3
to
months.
maintain?
In 3 months, the most of the SMEs got listed.
Okay.
So if you today you sign the mandate,
okay,
and if you start providing the documents to the merchant bankers fast,
okay,
in 3 months your company will get listed.
Get listed and all the formalities, everything can be okay.
Yeah, everything.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful.
Minimum dilution is 25%.
% is still with the promoters. So what about the voting rights and how many directors are put onto the company?
No, so it depends upon the number of shares that you are holding. On that basis, there are voting rights.
The next question.
Is there a process that we need to follow before signing the mandate?
But see, process, if you decided to get listed, then see today the merchant bankers are there on the SME platform who are working. They will help you in completing all the process. You have to keep your balance sheet and all the regulatory documents ready. And then the merchant banker will, do the proper hand-holding to say that you are safely and smoothly get listed onto the SME platform. No other preparation to be done.
And for the SME listing, our existing auditors will be able to fulfill the compliance.
Yeah, existing auditor will do, but there is a provision of peer review auditor. So that audited balance sheet will be again audited by the peer review auditor and has to be submitted with the stock exchange.
Good evening, sir. That was a wonderful interview. Definitely, we have learned quite a lot of vistas from you in terms of how to get the SMEs listed. I have two questions. One is, once when the SMEs are listed with BSE and all that, what is the type of hand-holding does BSE provide to enable the SMEs remaining active in the bourses? Because there are quite a number of instances where we are hearing that after a period of time, many of these companies become dormant in trading in the bourses, leading to value creation that has depleted for many of the investors. So, how do you handhold or rather provide some amount of training and enabling them to continue with the bourses over a period of time so that they remain active? Second one is that the moderator Casey asked about something on the private equity versus the regular equity, that is the listed equity. I have one thing to ask you. Mostly this private equity is called as value creation, nothing more than a ephemeral type of a thing, whereas equity that is coming through the stock exchanges is more towards wealth creation. So in this context, how do you think that SME equity created through the stock exchanges would add to the value of the investors over a longer period of time? Because I have collected statistics in terms of how the SME equities that are listed have really surged in the longer run or even in the medium run. Their value creation their wealth creation has really not been that much appreciative. Whereas if you look at the private equity, the value creation is faster and I get the money faster. So where exactly is the trade-off we need to take between private equity and the listed equity? These are my two questions.
See, the first question you asked that how the SMEs will remain active onto the stock exchange. That was the first question that I think. See, on the SME platform, there are two concepts that has been launched. One was market lot size. So if anyone wants to invest, he has to invest minimum 1 lakh rupees onto the SME platform. So therefore, there is a concept of lot where it may vary from 500 shares to 10,000 shares. It may vary. So, and we have also introduced the concept of market making. The concept of market making was introduced to keep the counter liquid. So if any investor want to buy the share, he can buy. If anybody wants to sell the share, he can sell. So that's how we are trying to make it liquid. Third thing, as far as keeping it active or business, all those things are concerned, let me tell you, if the business is vibrant of the company, then the company will keep on trading as its valuation will keep on going up and more investors will keep on participating in the stock exchange. But if the business keeps on going down, then there are chances that it becomes dormant. Okay, there are no investors participating into the company and the company value keep on decreasing and nobody wants to trade. So in many of the companies it has happened and you are right. And that's why we are saying, always keep on saying to the investors that do proper research into the company and then only do investment. As far as BSE job is concerned, we are a regulatory entity. We ensure that proper disclosures are being done by the company. And we also keep on calling to the promoters at regular intervals of time and also to their compliance officer and keep on, guiding them how to do proper due diligence. So all those things, how to do proper filing, when to do proper filing, so that investors should remain aware about the development in the company, and they keep on taking the decision whether to remain invested into the company or not. So that's the one part. The second part, you talk about value creation and wealth creation. Okay, I don't know what is the difference between. I'm not so educated to that extent, but I think wealth creation, value creation is one and the same thing. But as far as the private equity is concerned, it's into unlisted space, whereas the equity you're talking about, it's into the capital market. In the capital market, equity is being traded, and wealth creation happens or value creation happens, because otherwise today the market capitalization of the stock exchange listed stocks would not have been 3.6 or 3.7 trillion dollars. So many of the companies have unlocked the value. Now, when we are talking about the startup space, we can count the numbers on the fingers, where we can take the name of Baiju, Flipkart. There are another 10-12 names are there, where there's private equity has invested or angel investor has invested initially, then their value has got created. 3-4 of them got listed finally onto the stock exchange. The PE funds who have invested in those companies have taken the exit to the follow-on public offer or offer for sale, and the company got listed. And after all, what has happened with the value. So a stock market is totally different altogether. Private equity is a huge risky market. It's much more riskier market than you can think of capital market. Okay, there everything is happening in the close quarters. Here, you don't have the access with their balance sheet, PL account, and all those things. They themselves, the investors have access to everything. They are doing the business. But in many of the cases, though the valuation has gone up, but if you see their top line, many of the times, losses are more than the top line. So I don't know what is the definition of valuation. Is the valuation based on the top line? Then well and good. I am not competent enough to tell whether it's right or wrong. It's between the investors what they take. As far as the stock exchange is concerned, based on the profit and the PE multiples, etc., the valuation is being done, and investors keep on getting return depending upon how the company is faring into the business.